the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Apologies, might sound a little weird. I have kids, so the voice is not enjoying today. I actually had to wait and let a couple of these cough drops work in so I could actually get this video done. But I want to talk about the doctor. We just had the SLB pass. I thought it was one of the better SLBs because we had a new heroic milestone, which some people might have loved, some people might have hated, but either way, it was new, it was a fresh look, and it was a scaling one. Because of this heroic SMS, I was actually able to unlock the doctor, so we could do a pretty early review and explain to you how he works and how it can affect your game here in Star Trek Fleet Command. And I do think that he can provide a, not even just a nominal, a very nice impact in how he works. We'll discuss both of his abilities. Now, one thing about the Doctor is he does not have a captain's ability. He is designed to be one of the newer trends of below deck / officer. And in a lot of ways, he's like 5 of 11, but cut 5'11" in half. And that's basically what you get with the Doctor. Now, many of you are going, well, why the heck are you talking about 5 of 11 right now? What does she have to do with anything? Well, 5 of 11 is one of the primary cards in the game that we use for a lot of things. So here we have her stats up. We use her captain's ability for mitigation building, and we use her officer ability because everybody knows it boosts the amount of loot that you're getting no matter what you're doing. It's armada loot, it's hostile loot, it's something that we've come to rely on as a great thing, as not only a great armada officer, but also to make sure we're getting the most rewards possible. In fact, when we talk about primary armada crews in the game, 5-6 Khan is the classic best. And you have Cisco, 6, and Miles now is maybe a new one, but you still have 5 of 11 who's probably never coming off your Armada set. It's hard to imagine getting rid of 5 of 11 because of how valuable she is. Even back when she was 5 of 10. Super, super valuable. So what does that have to do with the Doctor? Well, let me show you. So let's go into our Officers tab and look at the Doctor himself. We'll sort by group and then scroll down to the bottom. Gosh, my voice sounds absolutely terrible. I'm so sorry, everybody. But the video's got good content, I promise. So over my dead program, now keep in mind that I've only got tier 1. I will show you what all the stats are here in a second. But tier 1, here's how he works. When you take hull damage from a non-player, hostile, or armada. So simply PvE and armadas. The Doctor increases your armor, shield, deflection, and dodge by 300% of health for 2 rounds. So his officer ability relies on stat stacking health. Sound familiar? Exactly how 5 of 11 works. And then his officer ability is increases all resources dropped by hostiles by 15%. Now, little tricky on the wording there because it doesn't list armadas yet. Testing. What does that say? Well, thumbs up. So basically we're seeing the exact same thing, but here are right now the officer abilities and total. So if you look, there's actually some really, like, you get him to tier 5, his officer bonus is 2,000%, which realistically, just being honest with y'all don't really need that much. And we're still waiting to see what the rest of the Voyager officers look like. But those are good numbers. But more importantly, let's talk about how it can be, immediately valuable. Because we know with epics, sure, the tier 4 and tier 5 might look fantastic, but is there any actual use immediately? And that's the good thing about the Doctor, is there immediate use in the game. Now, let's take a look at this below deck ability. Remember, we talked about 5 of 11. Put her back up real quick. Look at her officer ability right here. See it? Well, I'm actually going to move this to the screen. I'm going to make her a little bit smaller so you can see them next to each other. Bam. Look at this. This is 6 of 11. So basically, the Doctor is half as good as 6 of 11's loot bonus, but it's a below deck ability. So let's do some quick ideas of how this can be valuable. Well, for any player in the game, especially if you have been playing for more than 6 months, one thing that you've noticed is you've got to do rep grinding, right? We've all got to do rep grinding. So I want to show you how you can use the Doctor as a, probably 4th, 5th officer slot. You do want to make sure you work out your bonuses first, but let's see together if he works for rep grinding. Now, Rev might already know this answer, but I'm going to show you together. So you see, I've got my officer bonuses here. And what we're going to do first is we're going to go up to our faction tree, and we are going to track how much rep we're actually going to get. Now, I'm going to use the Klingon one, 196557, just because I am trying to grow my Klingon. Obviously, hitting Federation, I'm going to be getting a lot of Romulan rep, not necessarily Klingon rep, but we're still going to do it anyway. So we're going to use this regular trader. Base is 2880. You did see my officers. You saw none of my officers were boosting rep. So we're going to hit this. This is going to be our baseline test to show us exactly how much we get. And this is what we like doing. We like some math. Math is good and healthy. If you don't agree, leave your comment down below of how you hate math. So let's recall. We'll do that repair. Let's go back to factions and see how much rep we actually ended up with. So now we are at 336,203,486. Now we need to subtract what we had before, which is 336,196,557, and we ended up with 6,929 rep gain. So that's not bad, right? All right, so let's put the doctor on and see if he indeed increases this. And hopefully this does not end up being a video I'll remake and you never see this footage. In fact, hopefully you hear what I'm saying right now as I swap out and put my new officers. Let's go by group. And we're going to put the doctor down below. There you see the bonus applied, 15% drop by hostiles. So let's make sure this applies to loot. So the last time we got 6,929, same exact run. Now we're going to do it again. For those curious what our rep is at first, we'll throw it up here just so you know. 336,203,486. Now let's see what we get after we do this hit. There we go. We have now won. Yay. Surprising, right? So now what we're going to do is we're at 336,210,847. So let's take our previous number again, which is 336,203,486. And then we're going to subtract it now by 336,210,847. And we get 7,361. I did that reverse, but it still gives you the same amount. So I got 7,361 this time versus 6,929. So 400 rep per hit. And these are definitely not the highest I can hit per. So you do get a small bonus based on it being a 15%. Granted, that's not massive. 15% is not the biggest bonuses you can possibly get in terms of that. But this works. So it improved the amount of rep we got. And that's in the end of the day what we're wanting, right? We want to have officers that are going to improve our rep grinding, improve our armada payouts. These are all the good stuff, right? This is I think what sets, good officers that last forever from just officers who are good right now. I think a good example of a right now officer would be when Admiral Picard just came out here recently. That was a good officer, but it wasn't like amazingly game changing you're going to use forever. This one gave me 7,361 rep on a 45 hostile. I punch higher than that, but I wanted to give it just a quick visual and a system that I could relocate to. I punch much higher than that. But even if you don't, if you're able to do that, say 100 times, that's 40,000 more rep. And a lot of people will do that grind. And that's just tier 1. What if we could able to go from 15% all the way up to 50 or even just 30 and double that? You're seeing significant improvement. What if we were to pair that with other officers? Now, here's where I talk about overall value of the doctor. Truthfully, the doctor is valuable. You're going to see improvement in your armada drops, your regular drops from hostiles, whatever type of hostile that is. So if you're doing Actian, going to work the same way that 5 does versus Actian. If you're doing Borg probes, same way. He's a great below deck officer. The tricky thing is, where do you place him? At tier 1, you don't want to lose these officer bonuses. You probably don't want to lose your 10D whole health bonus. But if you've got that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th slot, he's a great one to throw in there. You don't need officer bonuses when you're running Pipe and Roach in. You really don't need officer bonuses as much, or at least as much stat stacking if you're running Strange New Worlds, unless you're going against the really high-end hostiles. End of the day, the doctor has a multitude of uses. Once you tier him up, his mitigation ability as an officer can be used to be effective in armadas and PvE. So that's something to like about him. We do like the over my head, just don't really like it at tier 1. But long-term as a PvE and armada officer, this has a lot of value, could be better as an officer depending on what the rest of the Voyager officers look like, maybe gets added to being an armada or hostile crew, but nonetheless, Renaissance Man has immediate value. I would say this is a B+ to A tier officer, not S tier. S tier would be cream of the crop, best officers in the game. I don't think he's there, but I do think he's very, very good because of what you can see here. The ability to contribute to your game in a way that helps you expedite some of that grind. It's not a ton, But that's how it works, and hopefully this video helps you out. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, and also check out our merch store if you want to support the channel directly. Subscribing and hitting the like button, it helps out the most though. Let me know if you have any questions about the Doctor, how it works. Drop it down, and I'll catch you. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Sorry for my voice being so abysmal, but I hope you appreciate the video today. Love y'all. See you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.